proudly hosts the Junior Hockey World Cup qualifiers right in the heart of Windhoek. From the 18th to the 25th of April at Devon Trustco Hockey Stadium, the best young talents from across Africa will battle it out for a shot at global glory. Who will represent the continent on the world stage? Follow real-time updates and all the live action on all our NBC Sports social media platforms. This is more than just hockey. This is the road to the World Cup. Catch every moment live on NBC2. NBC, it's ours.
Welcome back to the Junior African Cup, happening live here at the Devon Trustco Hockey Stadium, Windhoek, Namibia. Our game today, right now, would be against Namibia versus Zimbabwe, just kicking off exactly at 5 o'clock. So please, you have a little bit of time to grab a cool drink right now to get us started. I am Finesta Pinar, and with me,
I'm Dylan Finch.
And yeah, we will be taking you through today's game. Pretty exciting stuff that happened. The sun is quite hot. It's mostly sunny here today. No sign of rain today, unfortunately. 23 degrees Celsius that we got here. But yeah, we're looking out for a match.
Most definitely.
All right, the guys just trying to get the balls off the fields now. Here we go. We had matches all morning. Zimbabwe played against South Africa. The women lost that game 5-0. The men won 5 goals to 0 to Egypt. And then we had Kenya play. The men's side played the Zambia match. That was quite thrilling earlier. Quite an enjoyable game there. The Namibian lineup, we got John Paul as John Paul, who is Britzy, the captain, and then the goalkeeper for today will be Raylan. That's going to start us off, with the coach being Johan Veyer. The Zimbabwe lineup, we are starting off with Mutawashe as the captain for the game. The goalkeeper is Mr. Nam Tochikwo. And yeah, Daniel is one of the guys that had a good run with Dylan in their previous matches. So it's I would say it's one of the guys that you could actually look out for to see if they're going to give Namibia a part of some sort of challenge for this game.
Look, I think it's always a good challenge between the Zimbabwean teams and the Namibian men's teams. I think all across the board, Fanny, it's from your ladies and men's senior teams, but and in this case, our under-21 boys.
Great stuff.
I think a few minutes to go until we start with the...
All right. So I just want to remind everybody why this countries are actually playing this African Cup. So for the winning teams in the semi-finals will qualify not just for the final, but also gain an entry into the FIH Hockey Men's Junior Cup that will be played in India this year, later this year. The losing semi-finals will then play in the bronze medal match, with the winner becoming the final entrant to the World Cup, which is a great thing, which means 3 countries actually get, and that's going to be a good appearance for an African nation, just to join the likes of Belgium and India on the other side.
Yeah, most definitely. I think it's quite wonderful that we've got 3 entrants as African nations into the big tournament later this year. And yeah, it's all out there to play for.
Yep.
See, the teams are lining up now, shaking some hands, and then I think we're ready to go.
Absolutely, yes. Just as well as the women's competition, They also get the final 3 spots, but they are not playing at the same venue as the men. They will be live in Chile 2025, so that will be later this year. So yeah, the teams are getting divided, but that doesn't mean the spirit leaves each country.
Not at all. I don't think, or let me rather say, I think for both teams going to a tournament like that, as we are Namibians, we'll definitely stay united in and out of it. But I think for both of the 3 teams, men's and women's going to the tournament, just at different places, but it definitely will be a thriller.
Awesome stuff. That's great. Teams just doing their huddles, and then do their individual cheers. I'm sure the viewers out there doing their prayers, sending their spirits.
I'm sure it will definitely be a nice one to watch for the spectators as well. Does look like it's quite full around here. I'm sure a lot of Namibian supporters have come out, but I do see quite a few Zimbabwean. Looks like parents and family around. They are our neighbouring countries, so I guess for them to come over and watch some good hockey is always a good time to come to Namibia for them.
Oh yeah. So Dylan, this game wouldn't be possible without the 2 umpires from Mr. Evasion from Kenya and Haitham from Egypt. So they're going to look into keeping this game well controlled. Hopefully no cards flying all over the area. So I'm hoping for a really relaxed, great competitive game.
Look, I think at this level it will always be nice and competitive, nice and physical. But I think on both sides, I hope the teams keep it clean and just see the umpires having a good one as well. Like you said, it's always good to have 22 players on the park, but if there's not 2 umpires, then I guess we can't get the game rolling.
That's the beauty of it.
So I think we have Namibia on the ball to start this game, and there we go, and we're off.
So Namibia will be playing left to right on the screen, and Zimbabwe in their white kit will be playing right to left.
I think JAC just putting the ball onto the T spot there. Oh, and a very near chance there for Namibia early in the game.
That was a very quick start, very fast. They knew what they were doing with that one. Great start.
I think it is always good for a team to, start out so early and put some pressure on the guys. Very good to see that it's going the Namibian way, but let's see how Zimbabwe reacts on that one.
Awesome. So Muchacha there controlling the back line, transferring the ball from left to right. See, they were trying to attack on the right side of the field, but unfortunately loses out on that, and Namibia will get to reset and start again.
I think the ball just rolling out there on the halfway line with Matthew Lassen going to start us out here. I think Namibia playing with a standard 4-back as well, looking to trough the ball nice and quickly, make sure the Zimbabwean team gets moving, and that's the way they'll create their gaps.
Absolutely, yes. So they're keeping it quite composed at the back, looking for those runners, not seeing that, bringing it back to Theron.
I think Zimbabwe just got you can say a half-court press here with one of the strikers. We have number 14, John Mark Bernardi there, just doing the doggy work up front, moving with the ball, but Zimbabwe laying quite nice and low back into their halfway.
They're probably just trying to observe the pressure, see what Namibia's got coming at them, and then decide if they're going to change their formation or their presses pretty soon. It is, after all, just the first quarter.
JP Brits with a wonderful ball into the circle there. And Namibia take the first one through Owen Hatton. That was a well-played goal with JP Brits initiating that with a small ball into the circle, and very clever thinking, giving this short ball in front of the goalkeeper. We have Namibia taking it 1-0 in the first 2 minutes of the first quarter.
That was really quick. Great teamwork there. They're actually looking out at each other, got their eyes on each other today. And Owen just pops that in nice and easy. Doesn't get easier than that.
I think it will be very important, especially now that they've gone 1 down, for Zimbabwe to kind of just, 1 goal in outdoor hockey is not much, but just stay composed, keep it easy, and look to fight back. Let's see what the Zimbabwean boys have in store here.
It'll be good to see actually see, are they going to change their press earlier on, because it is just 1-0 and 12 minutes to play. That's a lot of time. So, yeah.
Most definitely.
but they get
Good
this
interception there from Krenu Weber, and the captain of Namibia, JP Brits, just calming it down there with the support of JAC.
Namibia attacking on the right side. Ball forced out there by Giovanni, but they still get to play the ball back in. Start off on the backside. Captain gives it into the midfield. He then distributes it on the left.
See a little ball into the inside. Beautiful skill there from JAC now on the ball. Moving with it nicely, looking for the ball into the circle. Not much coming from that, and just intercepted there in the corner from Zimbabwe.
And they're looking to bring it out through Ndazabaya, but he loses out for Owen, which controls the ball really nicely, looks up, finds his teammate, but feels like the umpire saw something that I didn't right now.
I guess I did see the little foot there, Fenny.
Oh.
Unfortunately, JAC just taking his eye off the ball, but these things happen, eh?
Of course they do. It's a good thing that you are the one wearing the glasses between the two of us. Extra pair set of eyes. Zimbabwe taking the ball off with Diran in the middle. They are keeping it quite composed there at the back.
See the Nam boys just have a little bit of a higher press, almost looking into a three-quarter press. I don't think that's anything got to do with putting pressure on them, but just to keep the defenders that's troughing the ball, just keeping their eyes up and making them know that they are in front of them, you know. And obviously then to just put some pressure on when they do slip up and see whether they can grab an opportunity. Matthew Lasson on the ball there now. He's looking for an open pass and just decides to go all the way to the right-hand side. So we have Sean Irwin all the way from the UK, back in his hometown, playing right back, it seems to me there. And sure, tackle not going the way of Namibia.
Do you think he got a moment to actually give his teammates, you said Sean is playing in UK, some of the technical skills that he learned over there?
So I do know that he's studying in the UK, so I'm not too sure on what hockey is being played there, but he has always been in you know, a more senior setup. Hasn't made his appearance yet for the Namibian men, but I'm sure that he has a few tips and tricks to bring back. Now Zimbabwe in, unfortunate there from the Zimbabwean striker.
Nkondazi losing out on that attack, so they will have to reset. I can see that they have actually decided to go high press now, Dylan. They're no longer just holding back at the back there.
Yeah, I think one of the things with a high press like that is if you get it past one or two of the guys with the Namibian boys playing a nice little triangle there on the corner, and unfortunately just losing the ball there above the halfway line. But, you know, with a high press, Fenny, it makes it, you really have to have a calculated press, because if the boys get past two or three of your men up front there, it does make it fairly difficult for your defense then to handle that, because in essence you're sitting with a 9 or 10 v1. JAC making a lovely tackle there. Let's see what he can do with the ball, just putting it on the foot.
Great stuff. Just knew where he could place that ball, since he did not have a pass on him. Good thinking, quick thinking that is.
Matthew Lasson on the ball. You're looking for the overhead into the corner, but seems to be closed, so he'll just go back to Sean Irwin. Moves it to the right quite quickly for Tehran here. He runs up with the ball quite a little bit and gets it onto the stick. Unfortunately, no control up front there.
One can see that the game is still slowly, no one's really making too many forward runs or losing the ball too quickly. They're both just calculating, seeing how each of them play at the moment.
I think both teams just getting used to each other, seeing what the other team is doing, giving a few passes inside out, and the few long ones into the circle is always very dangerous, makes it super difficult for the defense.
Yep.
But in the end, I think the first, you can say maybe 10 or 15 minutes, even the first chucker, keeping it nice and slow, but both teams still going at each other, with Zimbabwe on the attack now. And Matthew Lasson does get the win on the ball there. I think it might just be a little bit pushing, but as we all know, running into that 50-50, it's what you got to do, I guess.
I think Salem just had a loud whistle there, making it very clear from the start, at least from the first quarter. Zimbabwe gets possession of that ball.
Some good individual skill there.
And, unlucky. Theron just stepping on that player off the ball and winning Zimbabwe, giving a short corner away there for Namibia. And Zimbabwe gets their first short corner, and we're going to have to see what they are capable of doing right now.
Something a short corner so early in the game is obviously a nice way to kind of level it up. But yeah, short corners, person works so hard up front there to kind of win the short corner. Let's see whether Zimbabwe can make it 1-1.
That's Daniel on the injection.
I think we've got their captain standing on the first castle here up front.
Oh,
Push goes skew. A shot comes in. He's kept it nice and low. Unfortunately, Ryland just cannot keep the ball up on the floor there.
Reward for the short corner.
So it's actually a funny rule with a reward. You have to kind of set up immediately. There isn't a chance for them to kind of reset and reshuffle the whole.
And have a quick chat on where to put it next.
Ryland makes a good save once again, and I think Namibia come away with the ball there.
Zimbabwe did not make use of that short corner. They haven't really penetrated the circle that often for us to say that they might come again at Namibia again. But hopefully they keep pressing for it, and they hopefully do come past the 23.
Most definitely, Zimbabwe has always been quite a, or let's say a fairly dangerous attacking unit. So in essence, you wouldn't like them to get into the circle, but with that one, we kept those two short corners out quite nicely. And we'll see to go forward in this one. JP Brits on the ball on the outside to Matthew Lassen. He's looking to go forward. Nothing really as an option for him. Just holding the ball up there and making a well-calculated pass to JP Brits. It's under some fire there, under a few tackles. But geez, this man has skill.
Zimbabwe just double defending on that. It looked more like triple defending from what it looked like. So they do get away with the ball, and Darren is going to start them off. He chooses to actually switch the ball to his left side, and they're going to go up on the left link. Great interception there by the Namibians. Zimbabwe gets to go off the line again. He's going to choose to go back.
So I think Zimbabwe putting a little bit of pressure just early inside our half, but moving it all the way to the right-hand side. Well cut off there by the Namibian player James. He does just make sure that the defender goes, makes a pass back, and in the end, his job's done there.
A great pickup there by Giovanni. Plays the ball back, looks to reshuffle. The captain of Namibia has it in the middle. His head is up. He's looking for that runner. He does not find one. Then he decides to go back with Thomas. They reshuffle and go attacking from the left side now.
Matthew Lassen looking to make a brilliant ball down the line, with James receiving it right on the line there. Just a little bit of pressure from the Zimbabwean defender makes him go all the way back again. But I guess that's how you move there. The Namibian guys looking just to move the Zimbabweans, just look for those gaps, moving the ball around quickly as possible. And again, we're pretty much in their corner. Unfortunately, just losing out on that blow there on going the Zimbabwean way.
Muchacha, one of the players that actually made his mark in the very first game that they played here, just making sure he's defending his goalpost. Oh,
nice early interception there. Let's see if we can kind of make this work. A little bit of a tussle on the top D. Can he get the shot off?
Oh, he does.
He does, and it looks like, did that go off a stick, I guess?
Looks like it's going to be a long corner, yes.
And a long one for the Namibian boys.
They
Played quickly by JP, inside out. Just didn't work for them on that occasion, but we do regain the ball again. Christian Duran driving and losing out. I'm not sure what that was for at all. It did look like it was under the knee. As we know, the rule is the ball needs to hit under the knee for it to then be a short corner.
That's correct. Oh. All right.
As I said, nice and early. It will get physical. I think as the tensions rise, that one actually hit the top of our tent here. But yeah, the tensions will definitely rise out there. It's just I guess they all are men out there, and it's just in the umpire's hands to keep the game nice and clean, and in the end just blow what the rules are and keep the game nice and clean.
Theron just mistrapping that one, which gives Zimbabwe the opportunity to go counter-attack. Are they going to do it quickly? Go through the middle.
I've been keeping the ball quite nicely. Unfortunately, just a little slip and fall there, but Zimbabwe do regain the ball in the corner there. And JAC just popping the ball on the outside. So we have a free hit on the line for Zimbabwe. Fanny, let's see whether they can make it anything worth. I guess it's very important to have worked all the way hard to get up here, but you need to make it work. Some nice fancy 3D skills going on there and winning the free hit for your team.
That's some great stuff there by the young boy Ndadzi. Did some great stuff for his team.
Good pressure there from Ludwig van Rooyen. And Namibia do get away there in the corner. Sean Irwin just with a little pop overhead. Just into their half there, and the umpire stopping the game nice and early for the dangerous ball that was in the air. And Zimbabwe take it quickly and move it all the way to the right-hand side of the pitch. Looking for that long ball into the circle, but Namibia does manage to get it out there. JP Britt staying nice and composed, and he's looking for the big ball again over into the corner, onto the stick of Owen Hatton, and the Zimbabwean defender just doing really well to kind of get in there.
Oh, Owen's going to be very lucky not to get a card. It might be viewed as not as accidental. Oh, they did. That's good. It was an accidental bump into each other. Nothing really severe.
Yeah, nothing really malice from Owen. I think they just clipped each other's foot and both went to the ground. I think that was a very good blow from the two umpires there to just see it as an accidental, little fall and keep the game playing 11v11.
Yep.
You'll see JP Britt in the role that he's playing, very influential in the game, very involved, getting the ball, distributing the ball, running off again, but then and again making tackles in the defense. Zimbabwe going down the right-hand side into the corner almost now, and a good tackle by Tehran.
Daniel's going to take that one, but decides to pass it back on the defender that's running onto him. Mushosho winning that foul. Good look up, decides to distribute it in the midfield there,
So
and
that
they can switch.
very nice of them to have gone around. It's always so frustrating when you're not getting anywhere on the one side of the field, and player keeps going into that zone. You kind of want to look up, keep nice and composed, and get it to the other side of the field. I think Namibia with a quick restart there. Owen Hatton on the ball, looking for a ball into the corner of the other field, and manages just to get the foot there. I think retaining possession, Fanny, in games like these are what you want to do. I guess if you don't have the ball, you can't score.
Yeah, of course,
but it takes a little bit of pressure off you just keeping the ball. You're not under the flood of the attack the whole time. And I'm sure with the caliber of strikers we have here today in the Namibian team, if we can keep the ball and get the ball into the circle, it could be quite deadly for the Zimbabweans.
And there we have a possible attack, but no one at the end of that one. We are just under 37 seconds to play, so I'm pretty sure Zimbabwe, looking at the clock, would think, let's just slow this down, pass it amongst each other until the hooter goes, and we can go and reset again with the team talk.
Most definitely. I think one of the most frustrating things are if, especially so early in the game, if a person wants to run at the team and you end up giving away a short corner or even a goal, it definitely does kill your team going into the quarter break. And with Zimbabwe looking quite dangerous up into the corner, but a nice double attack from the Namibian guys actually take that through to the end of the first chuck, ladies and gentlemen. We have Namibia taking it 1-0 with a goal from Owen Hatton in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah, it was a well taken, I would say it was rather a good team goal that went in. He did look up, it wasn't very selfish, gave the pass to Owen, who just puts it away.
So what did you think the coaches have to say to the teams? From my point of view, it has been quite even ball possession wise, nothing has been too dirty. I think they'll just focus on the smaller little tactical blows there. We see the opportunity nice and early in the first quarter, I think within the first few seconds there.
Exactly.
Just going wide, but then beautiful play from the Namibian boys to clinch the 1-0 lead in the first chuck with Owen Hatton, just finishing it off. Unlucky from the goalkeeper not actually getting the clearance on that, but he had done very, very well to get back to that one.
He actually took the wrong thing out. He took his player out instead of the ball, so he couldn't get back to defend Owens.
Some nice skill there from JAC Fareed, just pulling it through the legs of the defender and he keeps going with that ball. So I think the two umpires will just be chatting to the boys, keep it going as is, and cut out the simple mistakes that obviously gave up the short corner, as we see coming along on the screen now, and just make sure that Zimbabwe will obviously be looking to work very, very hard at leveling it up, getting a goal, putting the pressure back on Namibia going into the end of the first half.
Yeah. And I would say, do they take 5 minutes? Are they going to go half court press, see how they can attack again? But I feel like they have already gotten the feel of how Namibia's playing style is. So if I'm the Zimbabwean coach, I'm telling them we want to go at them. We want to see if we can get something out of this game. So let's keep a high press on. Obviously, you still have to make sure that your back is defended as you go. But yeah, I would tell the boys they have nothing to lose.
Most definitely. I think Zimbabwe needs to work the goal back. Putting a little bit of pressure up front, not on the half-court press, but maybe a three-quarter press, couldn't be a bad idea. But with Zimbabwe restarting with the ball now, let's see what it holds in the next 15 minutes.
So as it stands, second quarter just started. Namibia 1, Zimbabwe 0.
Some nice pressure there from the Namibian boys, nice and early. A ball into the middle and a good tackle from JP Brits. Wins the free hit. Can they play this quickly enough? Unfortunately, the ball just bobbing onto JP's back stick. For these that do not know, this is a rule. One may only use the front side of the hockey stick. And yeah, that one just bobbling over, hitting the back side of the stick. Quite nice and clinical from the umpire, seeing that and just giving it the Zimbabwean way. Namibia regaining the ball then deep in their half.
Zimbabwe not putting that much. Oh, they actually did. Oh, unfortunately, they lost out on it. I think he thought he had that one. Unfortunately, did not. Namibia gets to go again. They get repossessed. Zimbabwe looking to go in on the attack with Makundo.
So I think as I can hear the Namibian coach here beside us, just saying the passes need to go onto the stick, and that is very clinical. You're making it very difficult for your fellow player, if you're passing it behind him or in front of him, and in that way you're then losing possession. But we've got Zimbabwe looking nice and dangerous in the corner here.
Yeah.
And I think they have won the long corner for themselves. Actually, just a free hit. He looks to go for the little overhead.
Intercepted by
And well
Giovanni van
intercepted.
Namibia, and he goes on the front foot early. Makes sure to draw the defender in before he gets his pass away. Does that very nicely.
Looking for the backstick there, just across the field there. We have Abram looking for the deflection ball, perhaps, or just a ball to the top D, but well cut out there. That is clinical defending from Zimbabwe. And look at them go. They right up into the Namibian half now.
He's in the circle, trying to get the shot away. He thought he found the foot, but he didn't. There was a foul there by the Namibians. Zimbabwean Chukumira doing very well for his country right now, penetrating that circle, going around the defenders and earning his team a third short corner.
And I think I just see JP Brits just having a little chat to the umpire, as he may, because he is the captain. And this is quite important, just getting the guys to understand exactly why, because lots of the time it's very frustrating not knowing exactly what had happened. But let's see what Zimbabwe can do here. We are just waiting on the push to come out. Umpires hasn't blown the whistle yet, and there we go. Ball comes out nice and quickly.
Oh, that is a low flick on the left side of the Namibian goalkeeper's foot. Ryland did not see that one. He couldn't stretch far enough to actually stop it.
And I think the number 13 there from Zimbabwe, how it was.
Matipa.
Yep. We have Matipa just slotting one back for the Zimbabwean men.
As we have it, Zimbabwe 1, pulling one back on Namibia, and it's 1-1. Any man's game right now. A lot more to play for.
I think Namibia just pushing quite early there, looking to see for any gaps up front, but just staying nice and composed. Just giving the ball back, and as I said before, just keeping possession. Unfortunately, once again, a rogue pass going to your fellow player just hits the foot there of JAC.
I said Zimbabwe attacking that right side very well, always trying to find those pocket balls. gets dispossessed. Oh, great work, almost great work there by JAC, but loses out on the line. Zimbabwe gets to go.
So I think they've just kept themselves busy in that corner there again. And Sean Owen comes away with a relief, passing it on to Abram, which he takes them on. Here we go with a nice ball outside to the left. And James has quite some space out on the left-hand side of the field. They're driving nice and quickly. Looks like a little foot happened down there in the corner.
Yes.
And Namibia look to bring the ball back up and around. All players have to be 5 from the free hit until it's played. Well played there. No one stepped when they shouldn't have. Another ball into the circle.
That
and
should surely be.
That is
Yes.
a P flick for Namibia. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is not a very well calculated tackle. The player then being off his feet without getting the ball in the circle while he he stopped him from taking a shot. This puts Owen Hatton on the spot, and let's see if Owen has the grit to pick it up 2-1.
That's just a little disappointment for the Zimbabwean team on their teammates' behalf.
Owen Hatton makes it 2-1 with a good flick to the right-hand side, just past the stick of the Zimbabwean goalkeeper. And let's hope to see whether the Namibians can keep this game, keep the pressure on the Zimbabweans and pull a few more back.
It looks like Owen just scores that goal and he goes straight off the field for a substitution. You have to go celebrate your win, your goal on the bench.
I think so. It looks like he has been playing quite most of the game, the majority of the game. So the coach is pulling him off, giving him some water. The sun is nice and warm out here, and just keep the gentlemen rehydrated. This keeps them away from cramps and just gives them the fuel to kind of keep going. Zimbabwe with a attempted long ball into the corner, but well kept. Can he drive into the circle? He can. Looks for the foot. Unfortunately, no shot there, but he tried to look for the foot, and Namibia, through JAC, very well controlled there. Zimbabwe just making a simple move there.
Oh, that's a
Very wonderful long ball. Keeper's come out. What will Namibia do with it here? Keeper ends up making a save and just cleared pretty easily. Christian Durand did some very nice work to get into that gap and actually receive that ball. It was just unfortunate that he had not had another blue shirt around him to actually make a pass.
There was no support there for him. But the Zimbabwean goalkeeper just looking up, making sure that he saw that he has no man running in for that defense and took it upon himself. Zimbabwe now going away with that one. Just a little mistake, and Tandiwane wins himself another penalty corner. Will they use this one, or will they defend their lines pretty good?
So I would actually like to know what this one was given for, Fenny, but it had looked like the umpire had maybe blown it for kind of hitting it out the baseline with that tackle, because it was a one move. But otherwise, nonetheless, Zimbabwe have another opportunity, which is their fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken, looking to make it 2-2.
Yeah. Emmanuel on the injection for Zimbabwe.
Let's see what the guys at the top of the castle have for the Zimbabweans. Push comes out nice and quickly. Good stop. Good flick and a wonderful save from Rylan. In the unfortunate from the Namibians there. JAC made a good clearance. The Zimbabwean just hitting his stick, but I don't think the umpire was in the correct position to have seen that.
Yes, that's why you saw that Darren went over to quickly see if he can change the umpire's mind. But that rarely happens. Dylan, has that ever worked for you? Do they ever change their minds?
It never happens, and I'm afraid to say it, but I do give it an attempt every now and then.
Zimbabwe with the variation, gets blocked, tries again, wins himself another penalty corner. That will be penalty corner number 5. Only
Just
one goal scored so far from a penalty corner by Zimbabwe.
So I think in the end, the guys in the short corner will be looking at the game depending on what they do with the rest of the short corners. But short corners are about your ratios, and you need to be scoring most of them. Let's see what we have here. Good push again, big stop. And a deflection ball actually going down, hitting the foot of the Zimbabwean. well worked variation there, and I think Feni in the end, going 3 or 4 straight flicks, very clever from the Zimbabweans to kind of look, maybe they do believe that their main drag flicker is on the bench currently, and then they look to run those variations.
Yep.
And Namibia come away with the ball once again.
It's actually good thinking from them, trying to catch the Namibians off their guard. But
Most
Namibians were awake on that one and got the ball away. On attack right now.
Van Rooyen just looking there to take down the 2 guys, and Zimbabwe come away with the ball. And I guess in a situation like that, Feni, you need to beat the first play and looking at releasing again. Things get messy when you try and take on a team on your own. But nonetheless, Zimbabwe come away with the ball, and maybe have to do the hard yards back and just make sure they've got their men marked. A very good step there, just to intercept the ball. JAC on the ball again, and just staying nice and composed out to Kreno Weber, who gives it to Giovanni. And I do hear the Namibian coach just calling them to calm down and keep the ball.
That's actually a great call from them, because they rush themselves into trouble. If no one is leading that front, just asking them to control. And it's good control, good push passes that's happening right now. Trying to find that momentum going and then see on which links to attack. But they keep composure.
So I think it looks like the Namibian boys have moved into a 3 back here at the back, just pushing one man up into the next kind of level of attack that gives you an overlap up front, and this is initially what you're looking for, to kind of make it, getting on 2v1 when you have the ball, eliminate the defenders nice and easily. But unfortunately, Zimbabwe coming away with the ball on the line here.
Nathan taking that ball for Zimbabwe straight into the middle, but he managed to get his teammate on the right link.
Namibia with a big press there, and actually
great skill from Mr. Tinashe on that right side of the field, but unfortunately could not make anything of it.
So I think it's very important, he was just looking, he thought his player came down the line for him, but unfortunately not in this stage. But not a bad ball at all from the beginning. Namibia just staying with a 4 back now, it seems, just nice and composed, keeping the ball. Sean Owen deciding to give it to the left side of the field again. Seems maybe the guys on the park could be looking and knowing that that's the weaker side, Feni. Just knowing that there's maybe a weak link or 2 that they think of on that side, and this is why teams, then generally look to go down that side. But another circle entry from Namibia, unfortunately just not through one of their players on the ball. But other than that, not a problem. Zimbabwe coming away with the ball, looking for the overhead, but opting for the easier ball just to the right hand side.
Yeah, it kind of makes me wonder, Dylan, if Zimbabwe is kind of putting extra pressure on themselves. I mean, looking at the log right now, they are on number 5. Egypt did overtake them earlier this morning because Egypt had a really great game. So Zimbabwe now playing on the log standings are number 5, with Zambia number 6. So Zimbabwe, I feel, are putting a bit more pressure, trying to press the Namibians too high, because they're trying to get some points on for themselves for this game, and could be caught on the counter. So they should be a bit more careful when they actually press very high.
So I think just looking at the log, for those that have been watching, South Africa remain on the top of the log with a clean sweep so far, 4 games played and 4 wins. South African boys dominating the pool at the moment, with Namibia standing on 2nd place, this being their 4th game at the moment, with Kenya at 3rd place, Egypt at 4th, Zimbabwe at the 5th place, and unfortunately Zambia at the 6th place. As you were saying, Feni, I do think looking at the points here on the log, it could be an important game for both teams. Namibia doesn't want to drop another place out of 2nd spot there, but Zimbabwe looking to climb and looking to fight for that 3rd spot.
That is true.
Zimbabwe's defense looking nice and clinical there, just intercepting the ball nice and early. But this then looks back onto the Namibian side, they're just not giving each other those options. We have a Baxter going into the corner, they're lifted over their heads. With a Zimbabwean defender, attacker, sorry for that. Number 14, John Mark Bernardi, just having some wonderful aerial skills there, but unfortunately not being able to capitalize in the circle and get a short corner. So on. Feni, I've been talking about John Mark Bernardi quite often. He does seem on fire. He looks to be the guy to give the ball to in the Zimbabwean attack. Nice tall young man, and I'm sure he has quite a good shot on him as well.
Yeah, I could see his captain. I'm sure he recognizes that fact. I have noticed that every time the captain on the left link gets that ball, he makes sure to look up and keeps looking for John Mark on that center.
So I think that might be their danger man, and with them just looking to give it to Mr. Bernardi and,
Great skill
and
to
see
get
what he
that
can
ball
do.
away for Zimbabwe right there. I'm sorry, Dylan, on that one. Nkotsi thinks that he actually won that foul, but didn't. On the screen now, you guys can see that it's quite equally matched games thus far. Zimbabwe having 5 shots on target, Namibia only 3 of those, but having 7 circle penetrations from the Namibian side, whereas Zimbabwe only has 5, and most of those were coming from their short corners.
Most definitely, Fenny, and there we have the possession coming up. Namibia just edging above Zimbabwe with a 60% possession, but you know, possession I was talking about is quite key. But I guess coming into the circle, you also need to put a shot on target and get those, get those figures up, and then eventually just looking for the goals. The penalty corners have seen Namibia come away with none, but 2 field goal. Well, 1 field goal and 1 penalty flick, and then Zimbabwe with all 5 short corners at the moment. Matthew Lassen just keeping the ball nice and controlled. This boy does have some nice hands in the corner. Him playing hockey at Sax Boys High School in Cape Town, actually, for their first team. He's done very well with that. And just keeping it nice and composed to get the ball out there. Zimbabwe coming with the attack fast here. Putting the ball in. Having Ryland just come into the game and make a nice little save there. Can Namibia come away here? And unfortunately not. Zimbabwe winning the short corner again for a stick hack, I think that was.
Yeah, that's correct. They're winning their 6th penalty corner now. I'm not too sure what they're thinking at this moment. The conversion rate is quite low on their penalty corners, so they have to look at how to execute this one, and hopefully for them, they will choose the right option to use.
So I think if you're looking at a 1 out of 5, that gives them a 20% percentage at the moment. Let's see what they can do with number 6. Umpire's just waiting on all players to be ready and past the halfway line, the pusher and the stopper ready, and then they can go. And a wonderful save of the right boot there from Ryland. That is clinical, as it was a wonderfully edged drag flick there, and just Namibian goalkeeper getting the better of them. That, I think, Afeni, if you can, you can have the best strikers in the world, but in the end, if you don't have a great goalkeeper in the box, just doing the most for you guys down there. Seems like Owen Hatton in front of the screen here is complaining about an ankle injury. He is off the field, so they can attend to him on the side for now. And the Namibian player just needs to jump on the park. We have Matthew Lassen here with the ball again, showing us some wonderful skill down there, looking for the back stick into the circle. He opts just to keep the ball and looks to, with a Zimbabwe getting a stick in there, and Zimbabwe come away with the ball again. So that blow not going the Namibian way, or it actually had gone in the way of the Namibian there. My apologies for that one.
Namibia placed the ball straight very quickly. They're very good with that. They do not wait for Zimbabwe to get into space to actually start playing that ball. But fortunately, Zimbabwe make sure that they regain possession of that ball. He's taking his time, waiting to see if all his players get back in their positions to actually start this game.
So with just under 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go, I think Zimbabwe looking to put the fire up here now, and even in defense, Fenny, I must say, the Namibian boys are getting the ball in there, but there are 2 or 3 guys making a tackle, getting the ball out there, which proves quite important. Unfortunately, we have John Mark losing the ball up front, but these things happen, I guess.
They do, especially when there's 2 or 3 guys breathing down your neck just right behind you. You are going to panic and make a few mistakes.
So for those that just do not understand the rule there, once overhead is thrown, the first player under the ball has then what can I say, the advantage with the Zimbabwean just stepping in front of him, not being 5 yards, and then Namibia winning that overhead ball there. Giovanni with some nice hands into the corner, but once again, you've got one defender right on him, but another one just behind him. And Zimbabwe come away with the game again, with the ball again. Can they look for the long ball upfield? And unfortunately, the ball is a little bit faster than the striker in this case.
And Gube Joseph couldn't get himself on the end of that ball. And that gives Namibia some time to actually reset. There's less than 1 minute on the clock to just play. So Theron has seen that. He's going to take it nice and easy. We don't want to conceive a goal just before a quarter ends. He's just going to keep control of this ball.
Giovanni coming away with the ball there, but unfortunately just a rogue pass going to the Zimbabwean stick there.
It was a great quick pass that was played just outside the circle. I don't think there's enough time for him to actually take that one.
I think I do see on the side here, ladies and gentlemen, Rylan Bombosh for Namibia should take the field just after half time. And that's what we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Namibia 2-1 versus Zimbabwe at this under-21 Junior African Cup in Windhoek, Namibia.
As we're going into the half time, the coaches are now nearing the second half. Namibia 2, Zimbabwe 1. We are here live at the Davin Astro Turf. Did you know? I'm pretty sure you know. I'm not too sure if you actually went to the school, but I have known that they actually built this turf in 2014. That's literally 11 years ago. So it's a good thing for Namibia to actually have a bit of history on this ground, and yeah, get a qualifiers being played on it.
Most definitely, Fanny. I did actually matriculate at the school, played hockey for them as well. We were actually part of the day that, you know, when they laid the Astro, putting all the sand on, and it's been looked after very, very, very well, you know, through all the partners and people involved, just keeping it in this shape. Being able to host a tournament like this is wonderful. I think the last time an actual under-21 you know, Junior Africa Cup took place was in my matricia in 2016, which we also played on this field. But it is wonderful, you know, normally us as Namibian teams are traveling, you know, all throughout Africa for tournaments like these. But it is very nice to see all the opportunities for the players themselves, but the teams on home turf here in Namibia being backed by their friends and family as support.
Of course. And kudos to the maintenance managers that actually make 11 years and the turf looks brand new. This is great stuff. We just have our halftime stats coming up for us. Possession, as we were saying, Dylan, pretty evenly matched, 56 to 44%. Namibia getting the better half of that. 7 circle penetrations. Look at that. So it's tiki-taka hockey going back and forth. Both teams penetrating that circle very well and actually taking their chances on those shots.
Most definitely, Fanny. I think if you look at the stats that are being displayed on the screen here, you know, possession quite close, circle penetrations, shots quite close, but then as well the score, you know, in the end, all the, you know, statistics can go your way about the game and all, but in the end, it's you who puts the most goals in the back of the net. And as I said in the beginning of this game, right throughout hockey, you know, from the women to the men's senior teams, we have a very good clash between these two national sides. From the beginning till the end, it will always be a very good game between them. I think in November last year we were in Zimbabwe for the senior men's side, and those are always good games to watch and wonderful to play in as well. But it is always neck on neck between these two sides.
All right. Do you think does the Namibian team ever call you up for a session just to come get the boys to show some tomahawk shots that you love taking so powerfully, Dylan? You do it so well. It always gets the crowd rattled up when you take those shots.
Unfortunately, no. I've unfortunately not been too involved with the under-21 side, but I do. I've been, you know, called up, if I can say, to kind of help a few of the first teams at school hockey level. But yeah, a few of these young boys at their age. When I was taught to hit the tomahawk are actually hitting it better than me at the moment.
Oh.
But I guess the coaching throughout Namibia is at a good standard that all the boys playing on the under-21 team are on par.
All right. So if you have just joined us, we are at halftime right now with Namibia 2, Zimbabwe 1. Please don't go away because we're just going to take a little short break. Dylan and I need some water.
Most definitely.
We'll be right back.
We'll be back.
And it is number 2! What a brilliant goal from JP Brits! Keep it simple in the same corner. Duran carrying the ball. He's been one of the
Key playmakers.
And this is unbelievable!
Owen Hansen.
Puts it away. It is 3-1 to Namibia. And who is the man who finds that pass? Christian Duran.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Junior Africa Cup. The Namibian men are taking on Zimbabwe. And as you can see, we got the log, standing logs right now. South Africa at the top of 12 points. Namibia right at their tails with 9 points. Then we got Kenya, Egypt, Zimbabwe, and Zambia with just 0 points there. That's why you... they were fighting hard earlier, and you could see how heartbroken the boys were when they actually lost that game earlier in the day.
So we're looking to start off the second half here. This is as it stands. We'll see in brackets we've got HT, meaning half time. The second half between the Namibian men under 21 against Zimbabwe will commence shortly. I think still a fired up game here. I heard the Namibian and the Zimbabwean huddles just giving each other nice positive words, just asking each other to fight hard out there, be clinical, and I think in the end that's what it'll take. See the sun just going down in the background, providing some shade over the field for the boys, but it is still nice and warm out there, and let's see what the next 30 minutes has to hold for us and who can clinch this game.
Can you give just a brief some, I was gonna say, advice to the Zimbabwean coach? What would you do right now?
So I think I would keep the pressure on. It is only 2-1. It does not help you hold back now. I think they will be looking to get the second goal nice and early, put the pressure on the Namibians. So I think from a coach's perspective towards the Zimbabwean boys, I just ask them to be nice and clinical, pass the ball onto each other's stick, win those short corners, and then obviously just stay nice and tight in the duels throughout the game.
Well, that I'm hoping that they are gonna listen in on that, and hopefully still manage to do just as you say, Dylan. Hopefully they can get a ball back, a goal back. Keeping composed for now.
Zimbabwe is starting the second half off nice and quickly, I'd say, moving the ball around the back. And with Namibia, look at that pressure. I think I should have been talking from the Namibian coach's side, but they are definitely fired up there and putting on some nice pressure. But a long ball goes begging for Zimbabwe. We'll have Matthew Lassen taking the ball on the line here and just looking to stay calm. Will he go for the ball down the line? You've got Abram Graham there, and he takes it one-on-one. Some wonderful skill inside out. That is beautiful from the young man, and just not getting the pass onto the Namibian stick.
That was some great inside out passes. Good individual play, looking for his teammates. Oh, got into the circle, but couldn't get anyone at the end of that ball. We got another injury. There have been quite a lot of those, Dylan, over the entire day. I'm not too sure what's up for today, but I saw Egyptians, 2 of their players got carried off here by the emergency services off the field. Really hoping that those guys are gonna make a full recovery, as they still got a lot to fight for.
Yeah, most definitely. Look, these little injuries and so happen, but you don't want to break the dynamic of any team and wait for injuries to come. So I do hope that anyone with an injury or two kind of makes it back fully recovered. But the team of medical personnel are up to it, attending to the gents quite quickly, and I do hope that they recover throughout the evening. Maybe an ice bath or two, keep the liquids flowing, and then they're ready for their games tomorrow again.
Right, and maybe just deciding to go towards the right.
Kreinu Weber just on the ball there, looking to pop the ball into the middle. Wonderful little loose ball into the middle, but well picked up from the Namibians. Matthew Lassen on the ball in the corner. Looks for the 45 ball into the middle of the park. Well held up there, looking for the big ball into the circle, and well stopped there from the Zimbabwean defense.
Great work by Nathan, the shortest man on the field. Very centered, very well controlled. He is making sure that his team is gonna get off with this ball, and he just did, and he runs off, gets himself into great position to hopefully get that ball, as he did just. Nathan on the ball now, pops the inside ball in, trying to get the inside working.
JP Brits passes the ball very nicely. Owen Hatton across the goal, and a wonderful Namibian played goal there. The assist coming from JP Brits, a wonderful ball into the circle from Owen, and he just thinks nice and steadily to give the ball onto P-Spot for a wonderful diving deflection from Christo Duran, and Namibia go 3 up.
It's as if he knew he was just going to be at the end of that, because Owen just takes it one time, gets it in, one time, gets it through, and he's... Oh, it's actually going to be Owen's goal. It's going to count as Owen's goal, as the Zimbabwean defender intercepted that, but it still went into the post. So Owen is on 2 goals now. Great stuff from him. Great stuff from him.
So I think, if I'm not mistaken, that does give Owen his hat-trick. He scored the first 2 goals in the first quarter, and then managed to pop that one. It's very unfortunate, Good idea to pass the ball across the D. I think just very unfortunate for the Zimbabweans to actually have gotten a touch and it goes into the goal. I mean, as we've seen so many times, the touch could go wide, and actually make a wonderful interception there. But Christian Duran actually doing very, very well there, putting his body on the line. And Zimbabwe we have going back into the circle.
We will have you know that Mushosho Emmanuel from Zimbabwe picking up a green card there on the sideline. Couldn't really see what he had done to get into the sin bin, but he will be sitting out for 2 minutes, and Zimbabwe playing with 10 men at the current moment.
So I think a card like that at that stage in the game, it is only 2 minutes, but as Namibian hockey works quite hard to kind of capitalize in those 2 minutes, and get a goal, push in those 2 minutes, just get a goal. You are 1 man up. It does leave some gaps in the defense, but Namibia playing a long ball into the corner there. We have Thomas Turan from Namibia actually getting that card. I'm not too sure what that was for either, but yeah, the dynamic changes a bit now that it's on the Namibian side, Fanny.
Of course. Zimbabwe looking to work up. They are quite high up on the field, and then Nathan trying to stop that goal from being transferred. Zimbabwe then turning, Abram turning on them greatly, winning himself the free hit. Namibia looking a bit more relaxed now. They're not as rushing as much as they did in the first quarter. I mean, sorry, the second quarter. But yeah, they're keeping the game really well controlled, looking for out for their own teammates quite nicely.
One of the Mayberg brothers there, just looking for the foot, but unfortunately not getting one there. Zimbabwe come away with the ball, and this is what happens when one person stays in the same zone. You know, the ball is between the two teams, then Namibia, then Zimbabwe. But a good little calculated overhead into the corner there.
Tries to get in on the penalty corner, but he does not win that. Too often players will try and do a move and think that they won what they think they did, which is normally the penalty corner, but not knowing that the whistle determines what they actually get, and he stopped playing, and Namibia actually gets away with that one.
We've got Matthew Lassen on the corner here on the line, just playing it easy back to Giovanni. Not much pressure coming from the from the Zimbabwean boys in defense there, but just looking to let Namibia actually roll the ball, and this could, with JP Brits showing wonderful skill there.
That was some great skill there by Brits, the captain for the Namibian squad. Yep.
And the Zimbabwean getting a green card there as well, just for a bad calculated tackle while JP Brits was maneuvering with the ball so swiftly as he does in that center link role, and Namibia come away with the ball again. JAC Fourie just giving it out to the sideline to Matthew. He looks for that inside ball and it just gets intercepted, but Giovanni does it very well to regain possession of that. And I think the Namibian boys just need to look at calculating their passes and just keeping that possession that I've been speaking about.
Yep.
We've got Sean Irwin on the right hand side again, just saying this man is nice and composed, not too eager to go to the front, but just making sure that the boys come away with the ball again. Giovanni Andura into the corner for Matthew Lassen. Can he make something of this? Unfortunately not. Straight into the Zimbabwean stick. He actually regains possession again, and we'll just go out with that one. Giovanni playing very nice and composed in this left back role, I think it is. JAC Fourie onto Sean Irwin into the right hand side. Can we find a circle entry for the short corner? One there by the Namibian boys.
Very well done. It was very calm play. No one really rushing anything. They look up ahead and making sure that they're actually getting those clinical passes that you were talking about earlier. They're actually executing them very well. Most
definitely. And as I've been watching the Namibian boys, they actually have a very, very strong two castles up here with JP Brits. On the side there, on the next castle, we've got JAC Fourie. Two great drag flickers at this age. But I do think it will go to the captain of Namibia, JP Brits, and see what he can do with this one. Just waiting for the Zimbabwean guys to set up for the umpire to blow the whistle. Matthew Lassen with a push in. Will they be opting for the first castle? Good push comes out. Definitely JP Brits. I think it just does grab a stick there, and this is unfortunate. But Namibia come away with a long corner and see to put some more pressure on the defense.
That was Namibia's first penalty corner?
That was indeed Namibia's first penalty corner of the evening. Just JP Brits moving it all the way to the right hand side. Sean Irwin and JAC Fourie just keeping it nice and calm here in the center. And then Matthew Lassen just taking him one-on-one here. Looking to stay on the outside and just roll the ball out. The man with the yellow boots making some moves there. Giovanni Andura putting it nicely on his inside. Can he get a shot off here? He opts to give it out to the outside. Crane Uweber looking for the ball into the circle. And Namibia actually just play the ball over the baseline for a 16. Zimbabwe come away lucky with that one and see to put some pressure on Namibia now.
Zimbabwe getting some breathing space just to see how they can set up and restart that ball. Good looking from Darren, playing very well with his captain there in the defensive role.
So I think that's what we spoke about a little bit earlier, was just Namibia putting the fire on now. They're actually just keeping it man-on-man pressure up front, and Zimbabwe coming away with a free hit again deep in their half. But you'll see, the Namibian attackers just putting a little bit of pressure, making him make a move, not giving him too much time. And a wonderfully one-touch pass there from Zimbabwe onto the outside. But a bit of pressure here. Can he take him one-on-one? And he opts for the backstick pass, which actually goes past the sideline. Abram Graham with a one-on-one here. Pops it towards the inside. We've got a ball into the circle now.
Good judgment from the Zimbabwean goalkeeper. Really good we're looking at. Now Matipa getting away with the ball. Oh, couldn't connect with his teammate there. Unfortunately, Lassen then takes it on and then waits to play a little 1-2 with Giovanni there. They're just keeping it very well composed, letting Zimbabwe do the running. They are making the ball work for themselves.
Most definitely, and I think what could be the little deciding factor up front is that the Namibian men are actually getting the ball, to their players. Unfortunately, not in this case, but with a long ball into the circle, where Zimbabwe are struggling with it, but they're doing quite well with the close passes, which they do have it. A little pop into the circle, but Giovanni Andura coming past and just nice and calm, giving it to JAC who will just look to keep the ball up here in this corner. Let's see what he can do with some 3D skills.
Takuta then trying to repossess. He does win the foul and he continues going for it. Oh, what a great work from Takutzwa, winning himself a penalty corner for his team. That is some great work done. We are going to now see, I think they are penalty corner number 8 now, if I'm not mistaken.
Most definitely. I think it could be number 7 or 8, yeah. And let's see there. Drag flicker. Is that number 13 there? Matipa Mawere. What he can do with that. He's got number 10 by his side. Justin Steyn. Let's see which castle they will opt for. The umpire is just making sure that Namibian defense is behind the line. All the other players on behind the halfway line before they can make the short corner start. The whistle goes. A good push. He goes very wide, unfortunately, with that. You can see he's very frustrated with himself on that one. He believed he should have gotten a little bit closer to the inside of that post there. But Namibia go with a big counter-attack here. We've got Christian Duran.
Oh, couldn't get a shot away.
The Namibian boys are looking nice and dangerous there. We have Abram Graham on the ball there. Can he get it across the D? He gets it across the face of the circle, but a known blue Namibian shirt to tap it in there. I think this is something that from the indoor to the outdoor, camps, I think this is a big thing the Namibian work on, or getting the ball into the corner, running the baseline nice and hard, but instead of, taking a shot, he's actually looking for that other shirt just across the D or 45.
Does it have to do you guys told that you shouldn't be too selfish when it comes to the circle, to just see the opening and take a shot, and you kind of start looking for the teammates more often? Because what I've noticed is that even from the goals that Owen scored or has given, they are looking for the next guy before they actually take a shot on themselves.
Most definitely. I don't think it will come from a space of not being selfish. Look, as a striker, if it's open, and there's daylight, we need to get the shot off. But I think it would be a thing of playing the easier guy, making the goal look good, and making it as easy as possible. If there's a man on the far post, actually rolling him, let him have the tap in, then trying something funny. But it's definitely just looking out for your teammate and making it easier for him to put the ball in the net.
Okay, that's a good perception, a good way to actually look at it.
I think we're nearing the 4-minute mark here in quarter 3, ladies and gentlemen, with Namibia just edging Zimbabwe with a 3-1 goal deficit, and 2 goals in field hockey at this pace is not too much. But Namibia coming down the right hand side of the field there with some nice steam. Krenu Weber unfortunately just playing it into the player, and Giovanni Andura playing it nice and quickly. And Zimbabwe intercept the ball to come out nice and quickly with that ball. Matthew Lassen here looking for the tackle on the one-on-one.
Takunda was looking for someone to pass that ball to. His teammates are quite very slow getting out from the defense, going into the attack. He did not have a pass on and unfortunately got lost possession of that ball.
So we actually haven't seen too much of the man that was in screen there, Ludwig van Rooyen. Clinical player for his club side and especially in his indoor hockey national teams he's played for. Very dangerous in the circle. We have the circle penetrations coming up on the left side of the circle. Namibia 11, Zimbabwe 9 shots on target. Still very nice and close. But in the end, Namibia with a possession up 60% to 40% of these are the Zimbabwean men. But Namibia still looking to maneuver the ball into that circle. As we see the penalty corners up here, 7 penalty corners from Zimbabwe, 1 from Namibia. But as we mentioned earlier, We have the shots on goal here. We have 5 for Zimbabwe actually and 4 from Namibia. But 3 of these actually then, ending up on the back of the net.
Daniel, Daniel was just in on attack for Zimbabwe there, but lost out on it.
Here we have the man I was speaking about. Can Ludwig van Rooyen do anything with that? A little stick check there, and he just looks to pass the ball back and maneuver it past the left side of the field.
Dylan, looking at the setup right now, you see the Zimbabwe, as we see with the stats just now, 7 penalty corners. How vital is it as a team, especially at this caliber, to actually put those short corners away, because it might just be the difference in a tournament.
So most definitely, we spoke about it a little bit earlier. If you look at the Olympics that took place, men and women last year, I think they work so hard to get the ball into the circle. When winning a short corner, you need to make sure that your men at the top of the D actually, put it away, because this is so clinical. I mean, take in this case, it's a wonderful, example with Owen Hatton putting the ball past the right hand side, just interrupting my story there. But with Zimbabwe having 7 short corners, if they could put away at least 50% of those that a person kind of looks at, you're looking at quite an even score actually being up,
So one would say that Namibia has been quite good defensively, making sure that they have kept all those 7, at least 6 of those 7 out of their goal post. So defensively, Namibia has been doing that very well.
Very good, I do agree. On the one hand, Zimbabwe not scoring them, but on the other hand, you can give the kudos to the Namibian defense on short corners. Few of them have gone wide, but definitely the goalkeepers making impeccable saves and just keeping the ball out, and that is very, very important. Namibia coming with the ball. Sean just staying nice and composed, realizing the right hand side of the field is closed. JAC also taking it nice and relaxed, just looking to move the ball around, with Giovanni Andura being very, very active in this setup. That is lovely to see the youngster playing very good hockey at this moment. Very clever hockey as well. He gives the ball out to his captain here, JP Brits, who has a little bit of space to run, and this could be potentially very dangerous as Namibia are in the circle again. And unfortunately, we have Zach Philander just losing his footing there and not getting control of the ball. I think we have JP Brits, the captain of the Namibian boys, actually playing at UJ University, first team. I've been hearing he's been doing very, very well. And that brings us to the end of the 3rd quarter, ladies and gentlemen, with Namibia 3 and Zimbabwe 1.
That has been, surely you can see that smile on Owen's face from the Namibian team, on his face, that he feels that this quarter was a very well taken quarter by Namibia, making sure that they came up on the front foot, got some goals in. Namibia 3, Zimbabwe 1, 3rd quarter just ending, and one last one to go.
Most definitely, with the 4th chucker coming up, I think Namibia provided the pressure there. Saw some nice hand work going here from Abram, and he just getting away from the defender. JP Brits has been proven very dangerous with that lovely ball into Owen, and looking for the cross ball, which provided his 3rd goal of the game. And this is a wonderful piece of play from Owen Hatton. And Fenny, tell me, what do you think the Zimbabwean coach would be saying to the lads at this moment? As I said earlier on, 2 goals is not a lot to come by in this type of hockey. But what would you be saying to your boys if you were in the coaching side?
Dylan, I will probably be shouting right now, because why have we not scored more short corners? Because field goals are not really working for us. So I probably would need to encourage them to keep penetrating that circle and then keep getting those short corners. Perhaps then now they would know how important it is for them to get their scoring up, at least if it's not in the Namibian game, for their next game, to practice or deliver on those penalty corners chances that they're getting. So I'm not going to tell them to sit back and just absorb the pressure. We're still going at it. Get some balls through to the number 12 Joseph on their front line. Get some balls through to to their John Mark could come also still in the game. As you can see, he's eager to still get the ball. Let's get the balls to where we need them in the last final third of the Namibian half.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, with Namibia 3-1 up for Zimbabwe, and the fourth quarter started here with Namibia with the ball, and we have some nice handwork there from Ludwig van Rooyen, number 7, with the white boots. He comes away with a free hit, and I think he'll just look to keep it easy onto his partner, Krenu Weber, and they're looking with the 4 back that Namibia is running at the moment here. You've got enough passes at the back, there's no reason to go down the line, without a pass. Giovanni Andura doing some nice work again onto his captain, and JP Brits just being dispossessed there, and Zimbabwe looking for the big counter attack.
They're attacking through Ngondisi that just got repossessed. Great work there by the Namibian.
JAC Fourie doing some nice work there, but unfortunately I do not think that Zach Philander actually saw that ball coming. This is why he was caught behind the defense, and this is why it is so important for your strikers to be awake, Fenny.
Yeah.
You need to know that ball can come at any time and get in front of your defender, but Zimbabwe come away with the ball just in their half. Namibia within 5, just looking to them with a long ball down the left hand side there.
And unfortunately, he had to play that long ball because John Mark just winning the foul and not looking at his teammate and gives us back to the ball, so he couldn't pass it back to him.
Giovanni Andura with some nice hands there. Matthew Lassen just picking up the ball that came off the Zimbabwean stick there. And once again, you see the pairing up in defense. 2 guys just played it out there. Matthew Lassen will take the free hit, put pressure on him, and then just look to keep on playing, as the umpire had not seen anything there. And luckily for the Zimbabweans, he saw the second infringement for the pushing, and calls to give the ball to the Zimbabwean players. It just looks like a little bit of miscommunication between the umpires, one showing ball for Namibia, the other for Zimbabwe, but in the end we have the Kenyan umpire Liyeyi just putting down his whistle and saying that is a Zimbabwean ball for some pushing there. Let's see what Namibia can do with us here, and a beautiful backstick tackle there, and actually comes away with the ball in their quarter.
Darren showing some great defensive skills there, getting two on one guy, making sure to get away with the ball. But Giovanni once again playing a very pivotal role in that midfield for his team. Can he get a ball on? And
he actually scores the goal.
Beautiful stuff. He has been working really hard from the second quarter of this game, and he gets himself on the scoring board. That was a great ball in the left pocket of the Zimbabwean goalpost.
Very well thought of there from Abram Graham. Giovanni actually looking once again to just give it to the post, onto the far post to Ludwig van Rooyen coming through, but again an unlucky touch from the Zimbabweans. This is never nice, but as you said earlier on, Giovanni getting himself onto the score sheet after working so very hard. And Zimbabwe not standing back and coming with full force, but Namibian Krenu Weber just looks nice and solid there at the back, making that tackle and getting it back to his captain, who's just calming them down and asking them to move the ball very nicely. JAC Fourie out to Matthew Lassen here near the screen, and Matthew Lassen just keeping up the 2 boys there, the Zimbabwean defenders, and keeping it nice and composed, getting it out, and Namibia stay with the possession.
It's John Mark there trying to put pressure on. He did that very well. Therefore, Zimbabwe was able to get into that circle, but unfortunately he does not control that ball and actually loses it while he was running inside, trying to get a shot off. Namibians are going to restart that ball.
So just another thing there, Fenny. I mean, you've been given as a striker on the Zimbabwean side, you've been given the ball, free ball onto the circle edge. You need to have made something from that. I'm sure the coaching staff will be unhappy about that. As Namibia come away with the ball again, and they have looked quite impressive in this half of the field.
Yep.
Playing it quickly onto JP Brits, and him just looking for the ball, but pushing Zimbabwe so far back into their half. Krenu Weber just controlling the ball nicely there for it not to go out, and Namibia come with the ball back around.
I appreciate how they actually not saying, well, we have scored 4 goals. Let's just kick back, just keep possession. I like that they are saying we have scored goals, we want more.
100%. Think, in the way this, tournament is set up with one pool, in the end, goal difference can bite you. I think Namibia laying second on the log here, but I had seen a little bit earlier they have a -3 goal difference. With this, will put them at +1. But Zimbabwe looking quite fatal coming down here. But Matthew Lasson makes a brilliant cover tackle there. And this is what it's needed, that the boys don't become, nice and lazy and just let the Zimbabweans score. They are working for that, for that goal difference. As I said earlier, pushing themselves up to a +1 goal difference. Actually, they should be even, with this only being 3 goals that will count. But yeah, as I said earlier on, in this type of setup of tournament, you need to have a goal difference. Duran moving nicely with the ball and a good calculated tackle from Zimbabwe, just putting it on his foot.
Yeah, and the Zimbabwean Tandi actually just getting a bit frustrated with the umpire there, not helping his team out, and he's losing out on an opportunity to actually defend that ball, and Namibia just takes that advantage and goes upfield. You do not have the time to stand and reason with an umpire that has made that decision, and that's where you lose your head and start making more mistakes.
Christian Duran here, sorry, just with a good work. Owen Hutton working very hard to get that ball, but unfortunately nothing came from that. This was great work from Christian in the corner. Once again, Fenny, looking for that 45 ball up, looking for his man. Owen Hutton was in that zone, but unfortunately just could not get a stick to it.
That's right. Umpire showing it's a 16 that has to be taken. That man right there, number 3, Davies Nathan. Really good work at the back for his country. I applaud the work that he's putting on. He is not letting Namibia just go around him freely. I appreciate his great work. He's actually a good defender, I have come to observe.
Him himself, as you said, Nathan Davies for the Zimbabwean men there, has been working extremely hard for his team in white here today, white and green, but unfortunately just not getting too much right up front, but he has been doing very well for his team. Zimbabwe coming away with the ball again, and here we see him go again, unfortunately just losing the ball there on the corner, on the sideline, with Namibia getting the ball again.
Handuro just there with a little fake, decided to leave it for his teammate as he needs to get into position, continue his hard work that he has been doing actually.
Most definitely, I think someone else not their ball, so run off the ball and make sure you've got your man marked. Make sure that you actually can give someone else advice. JAC looking for the long ball here. Can he put it towards the stick? And Owen Hutton, unfortunately, just coming away with the ball again. Can he make some magic here, going down the right-hand side? This man has got serious speed.
Great crash ball in. He couldn't just get to his teammate right there. Loses out on that one. But great gain possession, looked to go on the front foot, and then took a crush ball in there. Great work from Owen, really great work. I'm very happy with how he has actually come from the previous South African game that they played into this one. Great stuff.
Owen Hutton definitely looking to be one of the men on the on the selectors' minds for man of the match here today with his 3 goals. But as that exceptional ball, very hard working rate, getting the ball back, putting in tackles in. This is what you want from a player of his caliber. Owen Hutton also being in the setup at the Namibian senior men's, and I think this just does give him a little bit of that experience, to be able to play the game that he's been played here, and he definitely has put on a show. Namibia just nice and controlled in the corner. JAC once again with the ball. Let's see what he can do here. This is very important for a defender, but also with the ball in the corner, just to make sure that you don't get dispossessed there, but to stay nice and calm. And on the other hand, as an attacker, you don't want to put too much pressure on him there,
Oh, what a great aerial ball. Couldn't get there in time, but they still have keep possession. Oh, not sure what happened there. The captain just taking a tumble. Not sure if there was a push. Umpire hasn't seen that. Otherwise, it would have been a penalty corner. Did not look pretty good.
Let's see the little replay here. We got Christian Duran moving with the ball nicely. Oh, and a little tumble there. Makes a great effort to keep his body off the ball there.
Very nicely done.
I did not know that JP Brits has these moves on the floor. but you never know what he does, outside of hockey, yeah?
Of course. Could be that floor dancing stuff.
Yeah, most definitely. Zimbabwe with a big push here up the right-hand side.
Darren going off on the right, making sure it cuts inside. Couldn't manage to get the ball on track.
Sean
Well
Owen does
done
very
there by
well.
Sean. Very well done. Gives it to the captain. Calmly takes it.
Unfortunately, JP Britt's not getting... And we have a nice little attack here. What can the man do?
John Mark is on the far end for the ball. Trying to
We'll
get
just look for
around.
some nice 3D skills. And Matthew Lassen makes a very good clinical tackle there, Fanny. You see it so many times that, the umpire or he misjudges it or the player misjudges it and actually gives away a short corner, which I'm sure is not what Namibia want at this stage.
Of course not.
The ball just going rogue, hitting the post there, but just moving out of the field. But Zimbabwe come away with a long corner. With us having 5 minutes to go here, ladies and gentlemen, Zimbabwe putting the pressure on, but Namibia 4-1 up.
There is the danger man for Zimbabwe, Matipa, their drag flicker that actually scored their only goal in this match. Trying to make something of it. Taking the ball around to Darren, who then misses that pass. This is quite saddening stuff for Zimbabwe as they're looking to at least get a ball in there. As you can see, shots on goal are quite equal from both sides. Just that the better end is Namibia taking all their shots that they have in on goal.
I think we have a good little overhead there, but the circle penetration is now 13 for Namibia and 10 to Zimbabwe. It just does show that it's end-to-end stuff here. And Zimbabwe come again. What can they do with this?
Will Matiba get there? He unfortunately
And we
cannot
have the
get there.
possession. Namibia edging out with another 5% to make it 65% ball possession above Zimbabwe's 35%. With the penalty corners staying unchanged, 7 for Zimbabwe and 1 for Namibia. Zimbabwe only scoring the 1 out of 7 short corners, but they come away with the ball here on the halfway line, looking to get the ball towards the outside. Davies once again just getting the foot and making sure they regain possession.
Tries an aerial but doesn't get anywhere, unfortunately. Now they're just trying to throw anything anywhere, and it's not really working for them. I mean, keeping their heads in the game till the last whistle would be good for them, but yeah, right now just losing all ball possession.
And Namibia come away with a free hit there. Sean Owen looking for the long ball through and actually just gets a foot, but to regain the possession there, Matthew Lassen looking at the overhead but opting to play the safe ball. Let's see what he can do with it here. That ball down the line, and Christian Duran with some wonderful handwork there. He gets the ball onto a foot and he's looking to go forward here. He goes across the D, all the way across the D, and are they looking for that post ball? They are. They actually do looks like a foot there. Just not getting the short corner, but nevertheless they do regain possession and lose it once again. Many double turnovers here, but JAC does very, very well there. Christian Duran just putting it onto the Zimbabwean stick in the circle there, and this is end-to-end stuff here, Fenny. These boys are playing very hard, and it's just going, possession-wise. James with some beautiful work.
Oh, look at Nathan there, dispossessing him of that ball. Great work. Unfortunately, just whacks that ball dangerously into the Namibian player, and it had to be called back. That was some great stuff down at that end. Muchacha has not really been very active in this goal for the Zimbabweans. He has been one of the leading men, helping them out within the tournament, but today he has been quite quiet.
JAC just looking to touch the ball on his upright backstick into the corner. I think Namibia just need to be a little bit more relaxed on the ball. A lot of ball going into the circle, but Zimbabwe doing very, very well. Can JAC get a tomahawk shot off? Not at all. Giovanni again on the circle edge, looking to just compose. I've loved this man's composure today. He hasn't tried any funny balls or big balls into the circle. And this is what happens, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. You're looking for the big hit, which does not work out, and you actually just need to get the ball into the circle or onto another stick.
Yep, that's that, and it's all about who is going to be more composed. I mean, you only have a few seconds, about 50 seconds to play.
And Zimbabwe actually get it into the corner.
Oh, that was so unlucky for the main man, Ramapa Darren. He could have made something come off or something there, but couldn't just reach it well. He did get a shot off, but it went wide of the post.
Yeah, very good effort there, putting the body on the line there, but these are the things you have to do for a goal or two, and Namibia come away with the ball. Let's hope they can just keep possession. Perhaps they are looking to push for one more. I think this might be the call. Matthew Lassen with some wonderful work there, and Zimbabwe unfortunately just dispossessing him.
They're going to go on counter with Justin Steyn, just finding his teammate, which cannot control the ball, but he still wins that
and
ball.
We have 3 seconds left, ladies and gentlemen. And that is the end of the game between Namibia and Zimbabwe. Namibia clinching a 4-1 lead with what showed us quite some good hockey and amazing finishing.
That was some great hockey from Namibia and Zimbabwe. Quite a juicy afternoon. The sun has set on our beautiful horizons. Namibia 4, Zimbabwe 1 full time. That's the score at the Junior Africa Cup being played in Windhoek, Namibia. Such a great place to be right now. Fantastic stuff.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, get something to drink, come out and watch, or you can just stay in tune for the next game, which would be between the Namibian ladies and the Zimbabwe ladies, which I'm sure will prove to be just as an amazing game. But look at this smile on their faces. They are absolutely happy with Giovanni. Little beautiful breakdancing move there from JBL. He had to be on the line after that. See to what he's been busy with. And we saw some phenomenal skill, a lot of 3D skill, which is the game of outdoor at this moment. This time, a lot of 3D skill. But good camaraderie, boys are running around, clapping hands to the supporters. I think both teams can be happy with their performance and obviously look at this wonderful attempt here. That was beautiful. I would not have minded if you put that in dedication. Just putting the body on the line.
Alright then, those are the final highlights. Look at the Namibians' faces. They needed that. They went in and they got it for themselves. A job well done. Just the full-time stats against Namibia and Zimbabwe now. Namibia coming off with 4 goals to 1 for Zimbabwe. They took all or most of their shots. They each had 5 shots. Namibia making sure that their silver penetrations were counted more for themselves than the Zimbabweans did. 65% ball possession against Namibia's Zimbabwe's 35. This game was probably two heads were kept as each team just came off with green cards. As we can see, look at that Owen smile, well-deserved player of the match goes to Namibia's number 15, Owen Hatton. Brilliant work, well-deserved.
Well done there to Owen Hatton, deserving that for very, very well played. 3 goals and just making sure he was, as clinical as possible. Here we have the last game for the evening with the rest of the scores of the day. Nice hockey being played all over the board, I must say, with our Namibian woman taking on the Ugandan woman at 7 o'clock. Please stay tuned and keep on supporting the Namibian ladies.
All right, we will be back for the Namibian and Uganda ladies game soon. Please stay tuned. Just have a quick look at that log for the men. South Africa on the top of 12 points, played 4 games each. All the countries have played 4 games right now. Namibia 9 spots, Kenya 5 points, Egypt and Zimbabwe both holding 4, and Zambia unfortunately not getting anything on the scoreboard as yet.
Namibia just making sure they keep themselves in the running. This will keep their hopes alive for qualifying and sticking to the top 3 position, with them ending with this game with a win. This does give them the 2nd spot, and with Kenya tomorrow and Egypt tomorrow, they need to be sure to look at making some points to get onto the to get Namibia away from there. But as we have that is the standings at the end of this Tuesday evening for the boys, and we'll just be waiting for the last game between the Ugandan women and the Namibian women at 7 o'clock. Thank you, stay tuned.
Hi there, I'm Wala Bwalia.
And I'm Rusangula. On this season of